Hello everyone. Welcome back to Improved Version, a channel dedicated to sharing profound knowledge on holistic personal development through the lens of the world's greatest books and mindful practices. Today, we are embarking on a journey together toward a destination that most of us desperately crave but rarely find, a place of true inner peace. This video is a special design by the Improved Version team, serving as a comprehensive mindfulness meditation guide specifically tailored for beginners. Our primary focus is to help you learn the art of letting go of the crushing weight of stress and the persistent hum of anxiety that seems to follow us everywhere. We all experience those heavy moments of insecurity, deep anxiety, and overwhelming stress. Think of the students currently facing the immense pressure of university entrance exams, carrying the heavy expectations of their families on their shoulders while harboring a secret, paralyzing fear of failure, and the constant dread of being compared to their peers. Think of the professionals struggling under extreme financial pressure, navigating conflicting relationships at work or at home, or those silently enduring the physical and emotional toll of illness and unexpected life events. Then there are those who feel a profound sadness for no apparent reason at all, only knowing that their hearts feel empty and their spirits are tired. All of these are examples of falling into a state of confusion and indescribable distress. These repetitive, negative thoughts swirl endlessly like pebbles thrown into a calm lake, creating ripples that prevent the water from ever becoming still. The problem is that when faced with such discomfort, our natural instinct is to seek a quick fix. We try to soothe ourselves by scrolling mindlessly through our phones, watching movies to escape, playing games to distract ourselves, or even overeating and using stimulants to numb our emotions. However, these are only temporary distractions. Even when you are engaged in these activities, your brain remains in a state of agitation. So, what is the quickest and most sustainable way to overcome deep-seated fear? It is about building and maintaining your own mental space, often referred to as headspace, and learning exactly how to return to it whenever the world feels like too much to handle. Headspace is the central concept in the book I want to introduce to you today, titled The Headspace Guide to Meditation and Mindfulness by Andy Puddicombe. This book comes highly recommended by some of the most influential figures in the world, including Bill Gates and Ray Dalio. It is celebrated not just for its simple and accessible language, but also because of its profound practicality and the quiet, enduring power of change it brings to anyone who gives it a chance. The author himself is someone who has experienced a series of unimaginable tragedies. After his parents divorced, he tried to start a new family life and deeply cherished his lovely younger sister. But then a sudden, horrific traffic accident occurred, taking his sister's life in an instant. His family fell apart. To escape the reality of his grief, Andy ran away from home and wandered aimlessly. Then, another shock came. His partner died unexpectedly during heart surgery. He tried to pull himself together, but a final turning point occurred on a fateful Christmas night. While he was laughing and chatting with friends on the street after a ceremony, a car lost control and plowed into the crowd. People were sent flying into the air. Some died on the spot, and others were left with life-altering injuries. Andy was overwhelmed by the shock, which felt like a massive wave sweeping away every ounce of meaning in his life. He fell into a state of severe trauma, prolonged anxiety, and total disorientation. He found himself unable to live the life of a normal person. Driven by a desperate need for answers, he began a global journey to temples and monasteries in India, Thailand, Myanmar, Russia, Poland, England, and Australia. He practiced asceticism and searched for a solution to the suffering of the human mind. Ultimately, and he realized that the core method to free himself completely was mindfulness meditation. He learned that mindfulness is not a religious belief or a mystical ritual. It is a scientific method to create a tranquil space within the mind. It is a place where you're no longer controlled by your fluctuating emotions, a place where you can find peace and feel truly fulfilled. After more than 10 years of practice, Andy has shared these lessons with millions, helping them overcome the ghosts of the past and the fears of the future. I personally read this book long before I truly understood the depth of meditation. After years of persistently practicing and maintaining my own mental headspace, I can honestly say I have received miraculous benefits. 2 years ago, I introduced this method to a close friend who was struggling with severe depression. Today, she has not only graduated with her master's degree but has truly rediscovered the joy of living. While many people have heard of meditation, not everyone fully understands what it actually is, and it is even harder to maintain it as a sustainable lifestyle habit. Through this guide, I sincerely hope to help you understand meditation, mindfulness, and the space of the mind. So, have you ever wondered what meditation actually is? It is simply a technique to help you achieve mindfulness in the easiest way possible. Mindfulness, on the other hand, is the ability to be fully aware and conscious of what is happening in the present moment, rather than dwelling on the past or speculating about an uncertain future. This realization does not involve judgment or reaction. You're simply an observer. When you practice mindfulness, you gain a greater ability to focus and your mind becomes much clearer. Behind that concentration lies a state of peace. Behind that clarity lies deep understanding. Peace acts as an anchor that keeps your mind from being swept away by the currents of worry. Understanding is the light that illuminates the layers of thoughts and emotions deep within you, helping you live more consciously. The ultimate result of this journey is an inner space of peace and profound contentment. In short, meditation is the technique, mindfulness is the ability, and headspace is the result. How can we practice this effectively? The author shares that he once spent up to 18 hours a day meditating in a temple. Yet the stream of thoughts in his mind never stopped. He complained to his master that he was failing because the thoughts kept coming. The master gently replied that Zen is not about trying to suppress thoughts. On the contrary, Zen is like a ray of light shining into the mind, helping you see clearly everything that is happening within. That light is consciousness. You might not always like what you see when the lights are turned on, but meditation reflects your thoughts and feelings honestly. If the light of awareness is not switched on, much of our lives will pass in unconsciousness. Think of the countless seemingly harmless thoughts that occupy our brains every minute. When you first start to meditate, within seconds, your mind might say, "I need to take a shower later," or "We are out of eggs," or "Where should I go this weekend?" These thoughts seem small, but if they aren't illuminated by mindfulness, they become an undercurrent that pulls you away from reality. Your mind wanders into the future, creating a small burden of things to do that prevents you from ever truly resting, even when you're sitting perfectly still. Stress arises from this constant making of contingency plans and the unconscious race against time. To handle these thoughts, the author suggests a technique called the vehicles. Imagine all your thoughts rushing toward the future like cars speeding along a busy highway. Trying to stop them is like standing in the middle of the road trying to control the traffic. With your bare hands, it is completely pointless and dangerous. Instead of trying to stop the cars, imagine yourself pulling over to the side of the road. Sit down on the grass and simply observe each car as a thought. When a thought appears, such as "I'll finish that report later," imagine it as a car speeding past you. You don't need to chase it. You don't need to analyze the driver, and you don't need to try to crash it. You just tell yourself you don't need to get in that car. Your only task is to stay on the side of the road and return to the present moment by focusing on your breath. Then there's another kind of thinking that is more difficult to handle, thoughts that bring agonizing, confused emotions like regret, resentment, and guilt. "If only I hadn't done that," or "Why did he treat me that way?" To address these, the author suggests viewing these thoughts as wild horses. With a wild horse, no matter how strong you are, you cannot force it to obey your will immediately. The more you pull on the reins, the more the horse will resist and drag you along. Training a wild horse requires finesse and immense patience. You cannot force the horses of the mind to become docile. When you try to force yourself not to think about something, you are actually engaging with it even more. Instead, imagine using a rein that is long and loose. The more tense your thoughts become, the more gently you need to loosen that rope. Eventually, you will realize that these wild horses are just shadows of desire or fear. They appear when you crave security or love. Your job is not to judge them, but simply to acknowledge their presence. You say, "Ah, this is the horse of fear," or "This is the horse of loneliness." Take 3 or 4 deep breaths, giving that wild horse the space and time it needs until it eventually leaves the stable on its own. Once the cars have passed and the horses are no longer in rebellion, you might still feel a lingering sadness deep down. The author once asked his teacher why his sadness hadn't lessened despite so much meditation. The teacher explained that sadness and joy are 2 sides of the same coin. When you try to suppress your sadness, you inadvertently lose your capacity for joy as well. Many people, especially younger generations, fall into a state of emotional numbness because they close their hearts to avoid being hurt by the expectations of society. But suppressing pain means throwing away happiness. Mindfulness leads you to a joy that belongs to the space of the mind, and unconditional joy that is quiet and profound. It has always been there inside you, waiting for you to recognize it. If you're feeling down right now, try the blue sky meditation technique. Imagine you are on a flight on a very gloomy, overcast day. As the plane lurches through thick, dark clouds, you feel an ease. Those clouds are your sadness and your anxiety. But you know that no matter how thick those clouds are, the plane will eventually pass through them. Beyond the clouds, there is always a bright, vast blue sky. That blue sky represents the pristine, tranquil, and pure nature of your soul. Even when gloomy emotions cloud your mind, the peace of your soul remains untouched. To practice this, shift your attention from your emotions to your present physical sensations. Recently, I was on a flight during extremely bad weather. The plane was tilting and dropping for over 30 minutes. People were screaming and getting sick. In that chaos, I focused on the image of the blue sky beyond the storm. I took 5 deep breaths, straightened my back, and focused on the feeling of the air moving from my chest down to my lower abdomen. Despite the panic around me, I felt a sense of inner peace. This kept me from being consumed by fear and prevented the physical discomfort from taking over. The key to reducing anxiety is to maintain an effort that requires no effort at all. Your only work is to notice when you're getting caught up in a thought, and then gently shift your attention back to a specific point. In your daily life, this could be the taste of your food, the movement of your feet as you walk, or the feeling of water on your skin in the shower. Mindfulness is not just for sitting still. It is for every moment of your life. When fear no longer dominates your mind, it becomes clearer and brighter. Andy once shared a story about his time in a monastery in Myanmar. The monks were only allowed to eat rice with curry sauce every day, and they had to chew for a full hour. One day, a donor brought an ice cream truck to the monastery. Andy was so excited to eat something new. But the abbot made everyone finish their regular meal for a full hour before they could have the ice cream. Andy sat there, watching the delicious ice cream slowly melt into a puddle of mud. At first, he felt it was intentional torture, but then he calmed his mind and realized he had voluntarily chosen to be there. He realized that any experience, even watching ice cream melt, is a lesson if you're mindful. Pressure and anger only arise when your heart is struggling against reality. Think about your own life. Do you feel resistant to going to work or school? Do you feel miserable when the alarm rings? Remember that on some level, you have chosen this path. Looking deeper from a spiritual perspective, your presence in this world is your soul's ultimate choice for its journey of experience. When you realize that all experiences are essentially voluntary, the fear of losing control disappears. You are free to fly back to the blue sky within yourself. Now, we move on to the most important part of our session, the practice. Unlike a typical book summary, I want to combine the essence of these teachings with my own experience to lead you through a guided meditation right here. This is the first time we are trying this format, and I sincerely hope it helps you grasp the power of Headspace. I will be releasing a dedicated 10-minute guided version of this exercise immediately following this video to help you practice every day. But for now, let's take these last few moments to reflect. Life is a series of choices, and different choices lead to different lives. Every action we take, deciding to eat one more snack, choosing to go for a walk instead of sleeping in, or deciding to watch one more episode of a show instead of resting, shapes our future. Our bodies and minds are mirrors reflecting how we are living. Are you healthy? Are you at peace? Let each day be a series of choices you make without regret. Stop blaming yourself for not being perfect. Start with the small, simple things. The improved version of your life is not built on sudden, drastic changes, but on the gradual adoption of mindful habits. As you increase your awareness, your health and your spirit will become increasingly stable. You will learn the greatest lesson of all: how to love yourself. Thank you so much for listening to today's deep dive into the mind. If you found this meditation guide and the story of Andy Puddicombe helpful, please share it with someone in your life who might be struggling with stress or anxiety. Your support is what allows us to keep sharing this wisdom with the world. Don't forget to give this video a like and, most importantly, hit that subscribe button to become a part of the improved version community. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly guides on personal growth and the wisdom of the world's best books. We are here to support you every step of the way as you rediscover your own inner peace. Thank you again, and I'm sending you all a great deal of love and light. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, stay mindful, stay courageous, and keep growing. Goodbye for now.